Hello! For all our wine lovers and all our book lovers,
This is Wine Sisters Book Club.
welcome. We are so excited.
We are so excited. Wait, we need to cheers
Oh,
because we're doing it.
Cheers. Yeah.
Got a drink. Delish.
So good.
So what is this? What are we doing? Who are you? Why?
Let's start with who we are. So I am Niki Wente. I am a fifth generation wine grower. And what that means is that my family has been making wine for 5 generations.
Which is the same family as mine. You may or may not have picked it up, but we are sisters.
We only look a little bit alike.
Basically twins, not Irish, but 17 months apart.
So that would make you a 5th generation wine grower as well.
Yes, correct. Same generation for those of us who can do basic math.
Crazy.
Crazy. And yeah, we're 2 gals who love books and love reading and really, really love wine.
Right. I mean, this all came together because of wine and books. It really did.
Believe it or not. We're going to have a lot of fun. So this podcast came to be, like Nikki said, because we both love wine and books. And honestly, we both work for our family's winery, like Nikki mentioned, 140-year-old, 142 years old this year. And I'm in marketing. Nikki's in wine growing and viticulture. And in 2020, when everything was shut down, we were trying to find a way to keep our 140-year-old brand relevant.
Right.
And we did these Instagram.
Wine Wednesday.
Yeah, Wine Wednesdays is what we called them, but they were Instagram lives.
Yeah. And we put them on Facebook too.
And YouTube. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was pretty funny because we started out really serious. Like, okay, if we're doing this, people need to know how to host like a proper wine pairing meal. Or
like how to taste a wine. Put your nose in the glass.
yeah, like really, really, really serious. And the more that we went on and the more that people engaged with it, we realized that everybody really thought it was hilarious to watch the two of us, because as serious as we thought we were, it really became quite silly.
Yeah. Well, because I think we also should say that we are best friends.
Yes.
We have been.
That's what a little sister always says, by the way.
Yeah. That's what a big sister always is. This is Chili also.
Yeah, our dog is here with us.
So we have been together for our whole lives. Like, I followed Aly to college. We both went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And again, we're 1 year apart in grades and years. And then we now live in Livermore, work for the same company. We live around the corner from one another.
We share a nanny.
We have kids that are the same age. Our husbands grew up together. Like, it's actually almost insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but we love each other, and we also love to make fun of each other. So that is like the inception of this, is like having fun being together and both loving books and wine and the fun times that we can be had.
I'm sorry, we're all laughing. If you're listening to this podcast, our dog is being incredibly needy and looking into Nikki's soul.
Yeah.
And when I say our dog, we're not married. It's my dog. Yeah. It's my dog, and her auntie is her favorite person. So yeah, Nikki and I, we just generally love being together, spending time together, and this is going to be a soul project for us. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so totally a fun thing. What you can expect from the podcast is really going to be fun.
Yeah. And books.
And
so what we're going to do is, Nikki's really truly the mastermind behind the books. We both got into reading because of Nikki. I mean, I always like to read. I know, like, even when I was really little, I will like always remember going to the library and like participating in the summer library programs. Like, I've always loved to read. I was a journalism major, so like reading is my jam. But like into adulthood, we all get busy and life goes by. And Niki basically breathed life into me again. You brought me back.
I brought you back to reading.
You brought me back to life.
I have like the opposite story with reading. So I was never a great reader. I struggled with reading as a child. And then as I got older, I fell in love with audiobooks because I traveled so much for work when I had my first job outside of college in the wine industry. I was driving to vineyards all over the North Coast of California. And so I listened to audiobooks a lot. And then when I got pregnant with my first child, I realized that watching TV gave me headaches. And if I focused on one thing at a time, such as reading, I didn't have headaches. So the problem really was that when I was watching TV, I was, on my phone scrolling, I was doing laundry, I was watching TV, I was doing way too much at a time. And I was also building a human inside of me. So the head, tough life. So the head really couldn't handle that. And reading was like my way to enjoy myself when I cut out TV. And I, to this day, don't watch TV anymore. It's been 3 years.
I can't say that I don't watch TV anymore. That would be a bold and blatant lie. Niki reads way more than me, but I don't read any book if Niki has not recommended it to me. I swear. I will always text her, what have you read that is 5 stars or must read? She gives me recommendations to books constantly. She's probably annoyed. And then I always our text thread is like my library of what I need to read.
But I mean, I love that about us, that I can just talk to you about books and it can be the most ridiculous random plot. And I'd be like, I just loved it. It was such an escape. And she loves it too. So it's been a fun way. But also I want to just go back to what I said. I hate when people try and rub it in your face, oh, I don't watch TV. I'm so much better than everyone.
You do sound snobby.
I don't mean to sound snobby. It's literally for my head. I get headaches because I try and do too many things at once. I'll be answering emails. When you read, you literally can do nothing else. You cannot do anything else or else you're not reading. So it's for my headspace. And I totally do not pretend to be above anyone else because if you see the books I'm reading, and anyone can follow me on Goodreads.
She's not a genius, folks. These are smutty and fantasy.
I'm reading about dragons and fairies. It's not, I'm not better than you. I am probably worse. I'm reading reality TV for dummies. It is ridiculousness. So don't think I'm trying to stand on this pedestal. Anyone can follow me on Goodreads. I don't hide the books I read. I am whatever. If this is what I enjoy, this is what I enjoy. And people are just going to have to understand that.
You should follow her on Goodreads. Don't follow me. I'm useless. It is going to be a resolution for me to try to keep track because it's really hard to keep track of how many books I read on my Kindle app. I'm trying to figure it out. I also have a terrible habit of rereading stories I've already read because I want to feel something.
No, I feel that's totally normal. It's how many people rewatch The Office or their favorite movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Rereading books is the same thing. I do the same thing. When you find a book you love, you reread it.
Well, and it makes you feel a certain way. And so sometimes you get in a slump or you need inspiration in life and you think, okay, I'm going to go reread that book series I love because it makes me feel a lot inside. And that's what I need right now.
And I'm here to validate you and say that that's okay.
My husband does not validate me. He thinks I'm crazy. He also doesn't really watch things, but I will rewatch. I will rewatch TV series too. So maybe that says something about my personality. I will say what I love about reading is that I get truly lost in a storyline. It is my obsession. And you know that meme where it's is it really so bad I'm obsessed with this? This isn't going to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might hurt someone because I really I will not want to talk to you. I won't want to do anything. And I honestly was I might need to put my Kindle down around my kids a little bit more because we'll be sitting on the floor. I have a 9-month-old daughter and a almost 3-year-old boy. And so I'm sitting on the floor behind my daughter as she plays with blocks a lot, and I'll have my Kindle in one hand. I'm not really paying attention at all to what she's doing. But anyways, that's my obsessive behavior, I think, which really doesn't translate to anything else. It's real. I really love stories, but as a kid, I was a daydreamer. I am a creative. I don't know. I love to escape to a different world, and reading takes me there, and TV shows don't really do that for me.
Yeah.
Because there's not as much imagination, you're watching it.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend about this exact same scenario recently, and she was independent play is actually really healthy for kids. So,
oh, good. I mean, I am proud of her when she plays independently, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's okay. As long as like, if they're asking for your attention, like different story. But if they're like happy playing, like get out your Kindle, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. And normally she's crawling all over me and I can't put her down while she's awake. So,
yeah.
And that's only one of my children. So,
right.
Yeah. To be fair, I give them plenty of motherly time. But yeah, so then I think what's also fun, because we love reading, as you guys can tell, but we also love wine.
Love.
And so we're going to make wine a part of our episodes.
Yeah. So
we have some fun.
We are going to have some fun. So like what you're going to expect from this podcast is like a lot of what you just got, us going off on tangents, talking to each other
about life,
about books. We're also going to be doing one book a month that we're going to hopefully read with people. But if you have already read it, like that's also great. You can tune in and listen to our review. And we'll tell you guys the book in advance, but for the first month, because it's like we're in January now and
we don't really have time.
We don't have time for that. We picked a book that a lot of people have read, a very popular book, which we'll reveal at the end of this episode.
Ooh. I didn't know she was going to do that. It's so fun to watch her brain work.
Ooh. And then we also are going to talk about our like wines that we're really enjoying right now. And
we're going to host. How funny. I'm going to host you. We are going to put a blind tasting together for each other every episode, where we both bring a wine that reminds us of the book.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to have the other person guess what it is. And the funny thing about this is we're going to get it totally wrong. Like we are going, sometimes we may get it right, but more than likely we're going to get it wrong. And you guys can laugh at us because wine is fun and it's meant to be fun and it's not meant to be super serious.
Right. And I think that's like the main point. Like we want to demystify wine. We want it to be fun. We are both wine professionals. We have worked in the industry for years, our whole life. If
basically
you will.
Our whole life. It's in our blood.
It's in our blood, and we will likely get this blind tasting wrong.
Yeah.
But I personally am a mood reader. I will pick up a book that is what I'm in the mood for, and when I'm a mood reader, I'm also a mood drinker. And, you know, like when a book is giving me a mood, I am going to pick up the mood of that wine that I'm feeling.
You are moody. She is actually pretty moody. I'm kidding.
Rude.
She's gotten a lot better.
Gotten better with age.
Just like wine.
Yeah, just like wine. Just like
Yeah, so I think it's going to be pretty fun. Hopefully it creates something different. And then if you guys are intrigued, obviously you can try the wine too. So yeah. Today we're drinking Chardonnay because that is our one true love of life. We are two Chardonnay girlies.
We really are. When we talk about wines that are like really impressing us in the month or like things that we're really excited about, it's likely going to be Chardonnay a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But that is just who we are through and through. Chardonnay girlies.
Mm-hmm. Which is delicious.
It really is good.
Yeah. So what you can honestly expect is personal life, books, wine, apparently dogs, because my dog is all up in our business right now. And this is a podcast, so you're probably listening, but we're giving a shot at recording ourselves. We'll see how talented we are in making the video real.
Yeah, we set up a YouTube channel. We're trying we will see how it goes.
No promises.
But if you're interested, you can try and find this video. We'll see if it's even available.
Yeah.
But I mean, with no further ado, we will let you know the book we're going to be reviewing for January.
We are reading a thriller, God of the Woods by Liz Moore. So
yes. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend you do. We will be releasing the podcast by the end of January with the review. I know probably by the time you see this, it's going to be pretty close to the end of January.
Yeah.
So not giving you a whole lot of time to read the book, but it's a really fun read and it's fun to read along. And then in the future for February and onwards, we will give you guys more time
month.
We'll give you a month to
We'll
be
try
able
to aim
to
for a month
read
always.
with us. And we'll pick some books that are older, so you have like, you might have read it in the past, and some books that are newer. But I guess we should say, like, we kind of briefly mentioned the kind of books we're into.
Oh, yeah.
But I personally have a hard time reading a book with no romance at all. And
I do too. I really do.
So this podcast, like all the books that we choose are like this thriller actually doesn't have much romance. Like there's hints of romance.
Yeah, there's really not. I mean, like there's a little, but like it's not a major part of the storyline.
Right. But most of the books that we pick are going to have some sort of romance plot. Both of us are really into fantasy. So there will certainly be fantasy books picked.
Romantasy.
Right.
Fantasy romance, not just...
Right. Romantic. Not like high fantasy.
magic.
I'm not doing like Game of Thrones.
No. Though I love that TV show.
The TV show is great. And then like we do love historical fictions, but
we do
historical fictions with some romance.
A little bit of romance. A little bit of romance goes a long way. Oh my gosh, our dog just like, she can't handle the fact that we're both sitting here together.
And not petting her.
And not petting her. Poor girly girl.
Maybe the next time we record, we will put Chili outside.
Or just on the couch. Just get her.
Yeah, just have her sitting right between us.
Well, we are super excited to do this podcast. We're hoping to have a lot of fun. If we have a lot of fun, we've also talked about having some like special edition episodes that like maybe more about wine or other books we're reading, because let's face it, we each read a lot of books per month. Nikki reads like 500. I read probably like at least 6 books a month. I mean, it depends on the series. Right now I'm reading a series I'm really into, and I've read like 3 books in a matter of days. So it's going to be a month with a lot of books.
Yeah.
But they're not all like this.
Right. No, I am trying to honestly slow down my reading, because last year I was like kind of at a breakneck speed, and that is just not something I should be doing.
You read like 160 books last year. So that's like more than 10 books a month. So Nikki's really reading.
Right.
It's like
too many. Like, it's embarrassing at this point. Yeah. Especially knowing I just told you guys the type of books I read. So I'm only getting
that's like 15 books a month. I can do math. That's crazy. Anyways, that's wild. I don't read that much. So hopefully this is fun. We have a lot of episodes to come.
Right.
And
at least 12, if not more, but definitely more. So I hope you guys enjoy listening to us banter and bicker and talk about our favorite wines and our favorite books.
Yeah, life and books. So cheers to that. Cheers. And I hope you guys listen along.